I'm gonna take you, baby. I'm back with you. Don't get scared about this. For real. It's all about you and me. Let me know.
Hey y'all! Welcome in, welcome in! Happy Thursday! How's everybody doing today? Welcome people of the stream. Miss Anita is over on Twitch. Hey Anita, how you doing today, friend? How you doing today? So, I'm doing okay. I was up early this morning. I had my Italian lesson, so my brain is already broken. So it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. Let's see. Kayla, Miss Kayla Grace has joined us over on YouTube. Hey Kayla, good to see you. Glad you joined us. I am, honest to God, still recovering from the event last weekend. My brain is just, I'm getting stuff done, don't get me wrong, but my brain is nowhere near up to regular speed. So I'm just chugging along. So, yeah. So let's see, what else has been going on? I finished the third Murderbot book last night. Too bad Sophia's not here to hear it. And I set the fourth book to be on my hold list for Libby, so that'll come in a couple weeks. I'm still reading Six of Crows. I'm a little behind for the book club. So we're supposed to be we're supposed to be, wait a minute, let me think. We're supposed to be going from 200 to 300 right now, but because last week I did no reading while I was gone for those 5 days, I'm at 175. So I'm still a little bit behind, but I'll get caught up and I should be on track for next week. So, yep, working on it. Hattie has joined us. Hattie waves in Insomniac. I'm sorry, friend. Sleeping is so hard sometimes. Kayla says, I started a new med. Brain is mush. Ooh, yeah, that's rough. I'm sorry. I hope the new med does whatever it's supposed to do for you. But yeah, getting on new meds is always a trial. So, Valerie is joined. Valerie? What are you doing here so early? Holy shit. Huzzah, you made it. Welcome in. Anita is still hanging in. Excellent. On the weather front, we went from a heat warning to a frost warning in 24 hours, so that's fun. Yeah. But there is no climate change. This is completely normal. Completely normal for the end of May. So, Molly's joined us over on the tubes. Molly says, hey Vanessa, Kayla, Hattie, and the Twitchers. Y'all are Twitchers now. That's awesome. Welcome in, Molly. Good to see you, my good friend. Anita said, and fingers crossed my brain will edit today. All the fingers crossed. All the fingers crossed, Anita. Kayla says hi to Molly. Valerie says, I've been up and at 'em for a while and actually saw the email in a timely fashion this time. Yay! So glad you could make it. Huzzah! So, tomorrow morning I have to tomorrow at noon, I have to take my mom to my orthopedic doctor so she can get a shot in her thumb. So I'm looking forward to that. I get to see my nerdy doctor friend who I haven't seen in a long time. She's a big Brandon Sanderson nerd. So I'm going to ask her if she went to JordanCon this year since Brandon was there. I'm positive she didn't. She's a doctor. She's not hooked into the con circuit. I say that, but I know at least 2 doctors who come to Multiverse, so, Anyway. Molly says, holy crap, that's a swinging weather. For real. But again, climate change is a hoax. Actually, it is normal for Nova Scotia in May. Okay, never mind. Maybe it is completely normal. That is not normal for here. Right now, it is 81 degrees at noon at the end of January in Atlanta. We should be in the 90s at this point. I'm not complaining that we're in the low 80s, but we should be in the 90s by now. We're not, this is not normal. Let's see. Kayla says, I finished a book a couple days ago. I'm a slow reader lately. It was Parable of the Sower, graphic novel. I couldn't tear my eyes away. Yeah. That book, I didn't do the graphic novel, but the book, it's awful though, because it was so, if y'all haven't read it, but it's by Octavia Butler. Read it. Like, it was written in the mid 90s, and she basically predicted Donald Trump. Like, she basically predicted Donald Trump. So, yeah. Let's see. Molly says, "You've got this, Anita." And awesome to Kayla. And poor Vanessa's mom. Oh, no, she'll be happy. She really wants this. So, her osteoporosis doctor gave her a shot last time we were in. And so she was like, "Oh, I'll get him to give me one this time." And like, it helped her so much. But because it's not his specialty, he's not like, he doesn't want to like continue to do it, and I get it. Because if there's something really goes wrong with it, he doesn't know how to, like, they'll take an x-ray and all that kind of stuff. And he didn't do that. And so this is better anyway. And, so yeah, she's excited. She's excited about it. Let's see. M says, "Technically made it." Oh, welcome in, M. Technically made it for the start of stream today. Although I'm just gonna have this on in the background as I pack for MomoCon. Molly says, "MomoCon, is that where all the moms get together and drink?" No, that's every con. MomoCon is primarily like an anime con here in Atlanta. It's huge. It's owned by Dragon Con. They bought it probably about 6 or 7 years ago, maybe 8 years ago now. But yeah, it's a big nerdy con. MomoCon skews a lot younger in demographic than Dragon Con. Dragon Con has like a very wide demographic, but there are a lot of older folks because it's been around so long. So people who started coming as younger, obviously age. And so, but MomoCon tends to have a younger crowd generally. Not that there aren't older folks there, but it tends to be a younger crowd because anime, like my generation, anime wasn't really a thing growing up at all and didn't get popular until we were significantly older. So it tends to be a little bit younger. Let's see. Valerie says, "Parable of the Sower had me openly weeping on a flight to LA." Yeah, for real. It's awful. But it's very interesting, like, reading it, especially if you go on to read, continue reading in the series. Yeah, it's hard. But it's also very interesting because there's a lot about megalomania in there too. And about power and corruption and things like that. It's very, very layered. Octavia Butler was one of the greatest writers of that generation, I think. Let's see. Kayla says, "Parable of the Sower was incredible, so dark, and I definitely look up trigger warnings. Glad I read it, though." Molly says, "I had the graphic novel, and I think I started, but I don't remember much about it. Obviously, I need to reread or finish it." Yes, you should. That should be fun. I'm assuming talking about MomoCon. Anyone going to Gen Con in Indy? I have a lot of friends who go to Gen Con. I don't go. It's a little too far for me because it's not necessarily an easy drive, and it'll cost me a pretty significant amount of money. So Kayla says, "I've never been to a con. Worth it?" Absolutely. Well, what part of the world are you in, Kayla? If you don't mind my asking. You don't have to tell me, but like, I might be able to give you some thoughts. But if you're new to cons, I would suggest looking for kind of smaller cons. A lot of conventions have a lot of book focus. Some of them are more comic focused. Some of them are more visual media focused. So it really depends on, like, cons are some of my favorite things. Like, I adore going to cons. And also as a writer, especially going to writer-focused cons or places where writers gather, even if it doesn't have a huge writing focus, I always come back inspired. I always come back really motivated to get my shit done. So Valerie says, "I remember watching bootleg anime videotapes at my friend's house. Trying to get the real thing from Japan was not easy." 100%. Molly said, "I had fun at the few I went to, Kayla, but man, are they crowded. If you don't people well, don't go." It also, again, depends on the size. So, like, some of them are, like, Multiverse here in Atlanta, which is in October. It's actually down in Peachtree City, but most of y'all don't know anything about Atlanta. So, we have about 450 people, and it doesn't feel like 450 people. It feels, because it is a smaller con and we have a lot of space, it feels a lot less crowded than it is. And that's actually a small con. So, let's see. Kayla says, I don't people very well. Oh, you're up near Niagara Falls in Canada. Not exactly there, but no doxing. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm not as familiar. I know there's a lot of different sized cons in the, Northeast, the U.S. Northeast. I don't know as much about Canada though. I imagine most of their cons are in the larger cities, but yeah. Gen Con is mostly game focused. Yes. I've read Dawn by Octavia Butler. Loved it. I don't think I've read Dawn. I've read Kindred, and I've read, there's one about vampires. See, Kindred you'd think would be about vampires, but it's not. It's about slavery. And then she did one about vampires, and I can't remember what it was called. They made it, I think they were talking about making it into a series, but the thing about the one about the vampires is that she is young. Like, she looks young. She's not young, but she looks almost like a child. And so she seduces men. And like, she looks like she's like 13 or 14. So it's also like, all of Octavia Butler's stuff is also social commentary. You know, I don't know how they would make that. They wouldn't be able to make that without losing that message, because our current climate would not allow for that to be made. Does that make sense? There are a few cons in the Toronto area, Anita says, and Montreal. Excellent. Kayla says, I have a passport. As long as it's not crazy far, I could convince my fiance to go on her day off. Honestly, I would not recommend you coming to the U.S. right now. As a non-U.S. citizen. I don't even recommend U.S. citizens come to the U.S. right now. I would not recommend doing that. Even though, like, we do have, like, Faye, who is, for those in TWT, she's usually on the Zoom events. She comes down for Dragon Con every year. But, like, I wouldn't recommend, like, starting that until after we get through our fascist phase. Honestly. It's not safe. It's not safe. It's not even safe for U.S. citizens, so it's really not safe for people who are not. So, Molly says, I went to Gen Con before it was split. Now that it has split, it has about 72,000 attendees. Yeah, Dragon Con has between 75 and 80. We hit over 85,000 pre-pandemic, but they've kind of capped. They don't want to get that high again because it was too much. Because we can't, at Dragon Con, there's not really any more expanding we can do. We've already got 5 host hotels, the convention center, and we sell out most of the hotels in like a 5-mile radius. And so with that many, but we only have like con space, the 5 hotels and the convention center. And the convention center is like gaming and vending, and that's all that's over there. And, you know, like, there's no more space. There's no more room. There's no more convention space. And so it felt so tight right before the pandemic. Like, you couldn't walk anywhere without being shoulder to shoulder with people. It was awful. So, Anita says, also there are some smaller Ren fairs and local events further north in Ontario. I know a fantasy author that does quite a few of those. That's very cool. Yeah, fantasy authors, if they can get into a Ren fair, they can do pretty well. Jay says, I second what Vanessa says. Hi, Jay. And Jay says, hi to everybody. Anita says, yeah, I know what you meant. I edited on the fly, Anita. Kayla says, oh, I guess that's fair. Being part of the LGBTQ community may not go well at the border. I've heard some horror stories. Do not come here. Do not come here, my friend. Do not come here. You're not safe. Let us figure this shit out. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with my fellow Americans. I just really want to punch so many of them in the teeth. Okay, Molly says, and seriously, just being non-American would be dicey. 100%. Yeah, absolutely. Valerie says, I did hear, I think it was in the TWT Discord, that Jordan Con was a great place to sell a series. Yes. People at Jordan Con, I mean, is dedicated to Robert Jordan. It makes sense. So yeah, they love a series. They love a series. As a matter of fact, it's really hard if you've only got one book. Ask me how I know. It's really hard to sell there because they don't want just one book. They want all your books. So, yeah. Um, Jay says, if I could hang a huge warning sign, I would. Same, my friend. Same. So, all right. What's everybody working on today? So, I am not sure what I'm working on. I'm sure I have a list because I know I worked on a list last night. It's probably going to be, I don't even know what it's going to be. It's going to be convention related stuff. I do know that. Let me see. Let me look in my thing. We're going to get out of my Italian stuff into today's thing. Okay, what am I working on? Okay, I've got to send an email to my Frolicon authors, thanking them for their hard work, because I meant to do that earlier in the week, but like I said, my brain's not here. I need to do some emails for Multiverse, and I need to work on the DragonCon progress report. Why? Because it's due tomorrow, and I didn't realize it until like Tuesday. So that's on my list. So those are the main things I need to do. At some point today or tomorrow, I'm going to have to repack my sales boxes because I've got a sales event, a one-day sales event in Alabama on Saturday. So yeah. All right. Let's see. Oops. Hang on. Let me scroll back up. Emily says DragonCon is crazy in scale, hard to describe. People, literally, the Vendor Hall America's Mart building is like 5 Walmarts stacked on top of each other, full of art and vendors. Also, yeah, as a queer American, if you're in a different country, please stay safe and don't come. It's not safe here, 100%. As a matter of fact, for Multiverse, we lost 2 of our organizer types who, because they live in the Northeast, up by DC, and they are both queer. One's a trans woman, and the other one's non-binary. And the trans woman, particularly, she gets hassled. She's gotten hassled in airports and had creepy, weird pat downs and things like that. So we lost them as organizational volunteers because they weren't just like volunteering at the con. They were helping organize. But we lost them because they're afraid to come down south, and I cannot blame them. And it's only getting worse. It's only gotten worse every year. Kayla says, I'll look up events in Ontario. No worries. I'm going to prioritize being safe. That's what we need. Yes. Anita said, I have my story open to edit, and I plan on staring at it extensively. Yes, with a very intense writerly look. That'll get everything done. It'll be fine. Hattie says, again, trying to get out of my writer's block / finish current chapter. You can do it. You can do it, Hattie. You can do it. I have faith in you. I have 100% faith in you. So I'll be working on Frolicon stuff. Oh, old lady cat is eating. I brought her up some food when I got down and got tea. All right. Shall we get into it, y'all? I have 20 minutes on our clock. Oh, and we are hunting, we are luring a new spirit. We hadn't done that in a while, so we're luring a new spirit. So you see we've got our cute little ink pen, and we're doing little experiments with all the herbs. So I'm guessing we're going to get some fun writerly related thing. So, all right. Y'all ready? Let's get into it. Oh, wait. Anita's feeding Pixie. That should level us up. There it is. Level 20. Huzzah! All right. Now I'm muting. How'd you do? I got that email done. Had both pieces of information in it I needed. And then I realized that I did not scroll down earlier to see what everybody else was working on. I don't know why that I have suddenly forgotten how scroll works. I don't know what's going on. All right, let me scroll back to what folks were working on. Jay says, my short story with my Timothée Chalamet looking fellow who keeps following my characters, which she was working on. I'm having a real challenge with non-stalking. Yeah, again, you can change that later. You can change that later. And also you could even make somebody like go after him because he's stalking. Like you could add that as a conflict. So Kayla says, I'm going to look over draft one of a project. Oh, y'all, it's going to be a yawny day. It's been sitting for a while, and I've been afraid to look at it. I feel you. I'm going to take the plunge and look over it. Scared. How did it go? I'm sure it went well. Daniela joined us for a moment, saying hi from the company event. It is riveting. Clearly, or else you wouldn't be here. Jay says, and yes, as an ally, I say, don't come here. Not because I don't want to see you, but because, yeah, the Fourth Reich is in progress here. No joke. No joke. Molly says, oh, Steam Summer Sale is June 25th through July 9th. And I immediately thought, oh, my poor wallet. And then she said, you see, this is why I don't do well sprint hopping. That was for Alicia's sprint. But I was like, that's still good to know. That's still good to know. Anita edited a sentence and did some research. You edited! Good job! Good job! Kayla got 195 words in draft 2. Excellent. Hattie played with and added a few words, but it's still like trudging through cold molasses. Yeah, and sometimes that's just the job, right? That's just how it is. Sometimes. Oh my god. Someday I'll quit yawning, y'all, but clearly today is not that day. Today is not that day. All right. So my next sprint, I'm going to work on the multiverse stuff because I'm behind on emails. I got several emails over the weekend when I was at the con, and I just haven't looked at it since. So, yeah. So, that's what I'm going to work on next. How'd everybody else do? Let me make sure I'm actually scrolling. Kayla says it's going well so far. Draft 1 isn't as bad as I thought it was. I think that's really common, actually. Because we're always so hard on ourselves. I think we don't realize that stuff isn't nearly as bad as we think it is. You know what I mean? I mean, there may be some parts that are worse than we thought they were, but in my experience, generally speaking, it's never as bad as we have it in our head. So, good. Good on you, Kayla. Good on you. All right. Anybody else want to check in? Check in. What else am I looking at? Okay. So I'm not seeing. Let me scroll, because clearly I don't know how to do that correctly. But that's the end. I'm at the end of the chat. So okay, let's get back into it then. I've got another 20 minutes, and look, we have lured our new spirit, so we will meet that spirit in the break after this sprint. Something to look forward to. All right, y'all ready? 20 minutes. Here we go. right. How did everybody do that round? I was deep in a message. I am pinging several of my track directors who did not get their schedules complete or even any of it added to our schedule grid. So I am pinging them, asking them when I can expect the shit that was due at the beginning of the month. All right. Let's see how everybody did. Heather joined us over on YouTube. Hey, Heather, good to see you. Good to see you. And Ariel popped in on Twitch. Ariel says, "Hi, I'm dropping in to take a break and make some prep and prep some pie crust before another afternoon of meetings." Pie crust? What kind of pies are you making? Ariel says, "I forgot to give you a hug before heading out Sunday. I was in a lot of pain the whole con and we needed to get home ASAP. That's no problem, honey. You take care of yourself. I will never, ever, ever, ever be upset at you for taking care of yourself. I had a lot of fun and it was wonderful to see everyone in person. Yay. I got another epidural injection in the correct nerve yesterday, so we'll see if that helps. Otherwise, I might be looking into getting back surgery again this summer." Girl. So hopefully that won't interfere with Dragon Con, but we'll see. Ugh, I hope not. I mean, I don't know what I hope anymore. I just want you to feel better. You know what I mean? Valerie says, "Reworking my book's timeline since things moved around, and I now need to explicitly say when things are happening because the chapters are not all occurring within a single day, with jumps in between." Oof. Yes, the whole rearranging of the timeline. Anita is editing. Huzzah! I even used my emotional thesaurus. Yay! Huzzah! Huzzah! All right, it's time for a break. Y'all can continue to check in. But I need to go refill my tea. And I don't know, maybe I'll get a little snack because I think we have some bananas. I think I'll have a banana. So if you need something to eat, you need something to drink, you need to use the restroom, this is the time we set aside for it. You know what I'm going to say. If you've been sitting this whole time, get up out of your chair, stretch your bod, move a little bit. It'll, I promise, make you feel better. I mean, except for maybe Ariel. It may not make Ariel feel better, but the rest of us, but even Ariel, it should make you feel better too. All right. Also, quick reminder, if you haven't taken your meds yet, and you should take your meds by now, take your meds. I've taken my morning meds. I haven't taken my afternoon vitamins yet, but I'll work on those during the course of the stream. Oh, Ariel says, I'm making a ham, cheese, and spinach quiche. Okay, that sounds really good. I'm making the crust, and my husband will do the rest when he gets home from work. Teamwork! Yes, I love that. I love that. Hattie says, not even sure where I was going with where I left off, but I'm trying to roll with it. But yeah, only a handful of words. I did eat too, and I need to summon the goddaughter from her bed. So, good job. Good job. Sometimes the words are harder than other times, and that's okay. And if you don't remember where you were going, I feel like that tells you something. So you get to take this in whatever direction you want. That's going to be exciting. Okay, yeah, don't focus on what you trying to remember the way you were going to do it. Just go with it. Just go with it. All right, I'm going to put 5 minutes on the red timer. Yeah, I don't think I'll be gone too long. And then when I come back, we will meet our new spirit friend. All right? Okay, be right back, y'all. All right, I have returned. I am back with a banana and this little snack that Holly brought back from Taiwan for me. It is a taro pastry. You know, the little things that look like they're like purple sweet potatoes, but they make a little pastry out of it. It's very delicate little dough. It's in like a little flower shape. It's very tasty. So I will have that as my snack. And I have no more room in my garbage can because my husband did not take out the garbage last Sunday because I was not here to tell him to dump my garbage last Sunday. So, all right, timer's done. Can turn the timer off. All right. Everybody back? Are y'all back? Are we ready to meet our new spirit? Y'all ready? Are you here? Anybody here with me? Anybody? Well, I'm going to meet our new spirit whether you're here or not. Here we go. Ah! Hee! Looks like a steampunk. Looks like a little steampunk ink jar. Potionista. Potionista. Inksters who are companions to alchemists and apothecaries sometimes catch the bug to do some potion crafting themselves after writing so many mixture formulas and ingredient shopping lists. Trading out their inkwell for a laboratory flask, they become Potionista, a brilliant potion maker spirit who brews imaginative concoctions that not only boast strong magical effects, but taste amazing and dazzle the eye. Enthusiastic, clever, and a little bit risky, Potionista's passion for bold experimentation has been invaluable in helping us advance the studies of modern magic. And best of all, the elixirs this spirit comes up with are fun and easy to follow recipes that make others excited to try brewing themselves at home. As someone who got into spiritography from a very young age, I'm thrilled seeing how Potionista is encouraging younger generations to fall in love with potion crafting and alchemy too. Yes, I love it. Do y'all love it? Okay, so let us switch over to our new companion. Scroll, 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 scroll. There she is. How cute is she? So let's check out her colors. We can have a regular black one, a blue one. Oh, that one's cute. Orange. I like how it's got like a little wand, a little star at the end. Look. Green. Ooh, kind of a little pastel sort of teal. Well, you know what I'm doing. Y'all know that one's going to be mine. Oh, yay, and rainbow. All right, here we go. We're going to do the red because it's my favorite color and I'm an editor. So both those things. All right. So, yes, it is adorable. Okay, so now let's do a different thing so we can see. Let's see how it does typing. So it'll be reading a book. Yay! All right, super cute. Super cute new friend. I love it. Okay. Yes, the inky one. Huzzah. All right. Shall we get back into it? I've got to send another message about whether they're going to get their shit together or not. So, here we go. 20 minutes. Let's do it. Oh, wait. Valerie says, I love it when they do a thing. When I'm doing a thing, it makes me sad when they just sit there. Exactly. So when I had the little shrub pup and I was in the gazebo playing music, he was going, ow, ow. It made me laugh. It made me so happy. All right, now we're really starting. Here we go. Okay, y'all, that's the end of that sprint. How did you do? I got one email out that I needed to get out, and I'm just about done with the second email, so that's almost done. And that has been on my list for at least 2 months. All right. And Alicia joined us. She's still technically streaming for another half an hour, but you know how it is. All right. Let's see. Let me scroll back. I feel like I missed something. All right. So, Alicia will be done at 2 p.m. And Valerie says the ad froze her stream because, of course, it did. Then Alicia will be scheduling bills and reading her nonfiction book. And she got to 70 pages of it yesterday. Huzzah! That's the budgeting one, right? The financial one. Heather went for a walk with her husband while he was taking his lunch break. Oh, I love that. And ate some lunch, leftover chicken salad sandwich, and a couple of grape tomatoes. Excellent. I also had my banana and my little pastry, so that was yummy. Let's see. Rachel Taylor's joined us over on Twitch. Hey, Rachel. Oops, it scrolled. Hang on. I lost my place. Okay. Here and waving wildly and greeting. I'm stuck doing day job for a while, but my writing week has been going phenomenally well, so I'm not allowing myself to complain. Excellent. I'd love to hear it. Jay got some words down. Huzzah. Valerie keeps getting stuck on things, and she needs to write. I feel that. Anita's still editing. Look at you, got all into it. Attempting to add some action-y bits to dialogue while rewriting said dialogue. It'll be a whole new scene by the time you're done with it. Jay says, stuck on the shore, but don't want to pivot to time-traveling cult. Getting ready to make some lunch. What are you making for lunch? And Kayla said, my friend's power got cut off. That should be illegal. But I'm having her over for a couple days while it gets sorted. Viewing it as an opportunity for an adult sleepover. Yes! That's awesome. Yay! Yeah, gotta stay positive, right? Yeah, so Alicia confirms it is the financial book. It's called What No One Tells You About Money by Jade Warshaw. Jay's lunch is some Parmesan couscous and tea. That sounds excellent, my friend. I like it. All right. I feel like we're all like kicking ass today, y'all. We are getting shit done. Okay. So I'm going to finish this email and then... I reached out to all my directors that haven't as yet done their stuff, and they have all assured me that it will be done, but it'll all be done by the end of this week. So they have until Sunday. When I get back from my event on Saturday, after that is when I'll start working on the ginormous guest survey that we create for Multiverse. So y'all... It is hilarious. I make this stupidly long, ridiculous... Like, last year, I think it had 165 questions on it. It was stupid. And I say stupid not in the literal sense, but, like, stupidly long is what I mean. But it is kind of... It is in part what makes Multiverse's programming so good, because we don't put people on panels without them expressly being interested in those panels. So, because as a guest, I always get stressed out when somebody puts me on a panel that I can't speak to, because I either do it and I look dumb, the con looks dumb, and then the audience doesn't get anything useful, or I have to email them and be like, look, I'm not going to be able to speak on this. I'm going to look dumb. You're going to look dumb. It's going to be dumb. And then they have to rearrange stuff. So we decided we're just going to make this great big old survey and, come do the thing. So, yeah. Yeah. So Kayla says, I think I'm making homemade chicken noodle soup tonight. Okay, just send me your address. I'll be over. I'm kidding. Partly. Nothing special, but tasty for sure. I mean, who doesn't love homemade chicken noodle soup? That's crazy. Just please don't put celery in it. Ugh, that's the only thing I don't like. Americans, but you're not American, so maybe you don't put celery in it, but Americans put celery in every soup they make. I don't understand why. It's a crowd pleaser. Yes, it is chicken noodle soup. Heather says, I was working on beta reading for a friend earlier. Excellent. Kayla says, I'm going back into draft 2. It's been fun so far. See, not as scary as you thought it was going to be. I love that. Heather says, I want to do more beta reading next, and then I can take a look at my own nonfiction book I'm editing. Excellent. Excellent. And Kayla asked what topic Heather's nonfic is. Heather also says a survey sounds like a great idea. It is, like I said, it is ridiculously long because we have like 10 tracks or something, and each track has an entire weekend's worth of programming. So it's stupidly long. I mean, they don't have to do it all in one sitting. They can come back to it. But yeah, but it gives us a lot of guidance on what people are interested in being a part of. Kayla says, I don't do celery. It's expensive. Good. No celery in there. I would eat it all. Alicia will be right back she has the last chatty bit of her stream. Okay, shall we get back into it? I feel like we're all just doing so well, and then we'll take a little break after this one. Celery is good in soup, but it must not overpower the soup. I don't like celery. And also, I don't feel like my soup should be crunchy. And that's I don't like celery at all. It's great. And it probably has something to do with the fact that when I was young and my mom was putting me on forced diets that gave me an eating disorder, one of the things she would let me eat is celery with like peanut butter on it, or celery with, I don't know, whatever on it. And so, yeah. I also don't like grapefruit for a very similar reason. And I hate tuna for the same reason. The only thing that escaped was cottage cheese. And it took me years to come back to cottage cheese. Because my mom used to make me eat it when she wouldn't let me eat the shit I wanted to eat. So, my mom made borscht the other day. Too many beets. But I love that she made it. Yes. I don't know that I've ever had borscht. I feel like I have, but I don't have any, I don't have a specific memory of having it. So, okay. But enough of the chit chat, because now y'all are going to make me hungry, even though I just had my snack. Stop it. Stop it. All right. Are we ready? Oh, Heather is giving us the name of the nonfiction. It's called The Fairy Glossary and Guide for Writers. You let me know when that shit is done. You let me know when that shit is done. Because I absolutely want to give you money. Hattie says, I hate actual celery, but I do use celery salt in my soups for the flavor. Perfect. I don't really love the taste of celery either, but it depends. You know how when you don't like a thing, even if there's just a little of it in there, it just tastes like that and only that? Yeah, that's the issue I have with celery salt, unfortunately. Anyway, but I'm glad everybody makes soup the way they like. I don't make soup like that. I don't make any soup with any celery in it at all. I don't make a ton of soup. I'm going to be making chicken enchilada soup probably this weekend. Probably Sunday. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. All right. Let's get into it. 20 minutes, y'all. Here we go. All right. How did everybody do that round? I finished that second email and then my brain needed a break. So I putzed around on some social media. Oh, excuse me. And then remembered that I'm annoyed at Dinnerly. So I'm going to have to call them during the next sprint. So let's see how everybody else did. So during the sprint, Heather said we were talking about books about fairies. And she said, I need to grow my collection, but I do have The White Goddess, one version of the, I don't know how to pronounce that, Mabinogion? I don't even know what that is. Two by Joseph Campbell, and The Violet Fairy Book, also The Golden Bough. And she has Keats' Irish Fairy and Folk Tales. I have that as well. Plus two different printings of Sir Gawain and the Green Knight. I don't know why. It's a good piece of art. I've got two big books on mythology, and then I've got the Encyclopedia of Fairies in World Folklore, and then I've got favorite folk tales from around the world. I've got the Women's Encyclopedia of Myths and Secrets, and I've got a history of ghosts, which isn't fairies, but... And then I've got these two little books that are... One is the mythological creatures, and the other one is the fairy Bible. And then I've got the Book of Barely Imagined Things, which is a 21st century bestiary. And then I've got the Keats volume. So, yeah. So that's what I've got. Let me scroll back again. See how everybody else did. Alicia's officially done with cookie spreads. Yay. And now working on my stuffs. Excellent. Excellent, excellent. Kayla started the soup and it's going to be so good. Girl, you're making me hungry. Quit it. We're going to probably have leftover chili tonight. So we took some chili out of the freezer yesterday. And so we'll have leftover chili tonight. I might make chili gnocchi. So I make gnocchi and then I dump the chili on it with some cheese. It's so good. Let's see. Anita's still editing. You are firmly in the editing now. Yay. Now I definitely have to add the foreshadowing I was avoiding. Well, okay. Yeah. I mean, that happens, right? Heather futzed around with her bookshelves. Of course, because we were talking about the books on your bookshelves. Valerie says the edits continue until morale improves. Edits continue until verbiage improves. Spooter Boy! Hello, hello! That is the cutest name, by the way. Welcome in, glad you could join us. Spooter Boy is just happy they got down 320 words. They've been struggling with this book for 7 years and only on chapter 5. I mean, sometimes that's how it works, right? Is that your first book? Welcome in, by the way. Glad you could join us today. Kayla says to Heather, I would recommend Fairies, A Dangerous History by Richard Sugg, S-U-G-G. That sounds really good. Okay, so Heather's teaching me how to pronounce this word. Mabinogion. Mabinogion. It's the collection of mythological stories of Wales. That's why I can't pronounce it. So I do love, I mean, I've never been to Wales, but I love everything I've seen about Wales. Also, y'all have Michael Sheen, and I'm a little jealous, just to be honest. Let's see. Kayla says, oh, I love a good chili. I make excellent chili. Every time I make a different chili recipe, like if we get one of those box meal things, or if we're out and we get chili, you'll be like, oh, it's okay, but it's not yours. I make excellent chili. Spooter Boy says, the big plot points I know, but navigating between them is hard. Yeah, that's the hard part of writing. Absolutely, I agree with you. But just keep moving forward. Keep moving forward. That's all you have to do. Just keep moving forward. Don't go backwards. Don't go redo stuff. Keep moving forward. You got this. You can do it. Heather says, ooh, thanks for the suggestion. Scribbles the notebook. Rachel Taylor says, the day job stuff is done. She's going to go make some more tea. What are you drinking today? Take a walk around the house, break, and switch to Halo. Excellent, excellent. So I know y'all are so used to me drinking my cinnamon rooibos, but I'm actually, and have been for the last couple days, drinking a decaffeinated vanilla black tea, also from Harney and Sons, called Vanilla Komoro. And it's good, but it's been in my cabinet for a while, and it's just been sitting there hanging out because I've been drinking all the rooibos. So I was like, okay, let's switch over to the black tea. All right, let's see. Haha, Rachel says, haha, I happen to be wearing my I hiked Snowdon sweatshirt. Snowdon being in Wales. That is awesome. Hattie says, well, Welsh mythology is so unlike anything else. Yeah, I don't know a ton about, like, specifically Welsh mythology, but I feel like now I need to dig into it. Rachel says, tea will be Harney's chocolate and coconut. So good. Excellent. Coconut is another one of those things I don't like. But if you like it, that's what's important. And I'm sure other people think it sounds delicious. Valerie says there's a lot of neat stuff for sure. Absolutely. I just find folklore, like all folklore, to be just fascinating, you know? So, yeah, Wales is what inspired me to get back into creative writing after several years of doing journalism. That's awesome. I was researching my own genealogy. Okay, that's super cool. Super cool. Yeah, Valerie, I knew what you meant. I knew you were talking about Welsh myths. So, let's see. Kayla's like, ew, coconut. Yes, we'll leave all the coconut for Rachel. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. That's the way I look at it. When, I say I don't like a thing, people are like, what do you mean you don't like it? And I'm like, oh, it's more for you. I don't like it, so it's more for you. And they're like, oh, yeah, okay. Sometimes people get all bent out of shape if you don't like the same things they do. It's super weird. I don't get it, but, whatever. Celtic and Norse have some crossover, but Welsh is not the same. I can see that because, there was so much influence from the Norse on like the northern UK kind of area and they went far south, into Europe, but northern Europe and northern UK, and it always seems like Wales is like its own little thing, a lot like Louisiana in the US. Louisiana is like this weird little state that's different from all the other states in a lot of ways, and it's very unique. And particularly southern Louisiana has really kept, generally speaking, to its original roots, right? There's a lot of, and I say original, obviously not Native Americans, but more like early colonial roots, in that there's a lot of Black, French, there's a lot of Creole, a lot of Cajun, it's very different from the rest of the United States. So I feel like, Wales and Louisiana are similar in that regard. Alicia says, I'm not a big coconut fan either. I will eat it if it's German chocolate cake or a Mounds candy bar, but that is my limit. Ooh, no, I can't do a Mounds candy bar. I could do German chocolate cake. It's not my favorite, but if it's the only cake available, what else are you going to do? You're going to eat it. And I love Samoa cookies, Girl Scout cookies. I love those. So like, I think the toasted coconut is different. And I don't mind, here's the thing, I don't mind fresh coconut. I like fresh coconut, but I just don't care for like the processed shredded coconut that we usually associate, at least as Americans, what we associate as coconut. And I definitely could not eat a Mounds candy bar. Gross. Heather says, I can vouch for that. Irish and Scots, Celts definitely were influenced by Norwegian culture. 100%. Anita said, Welsh has a lot of Arthurian lore as well. Yes. Yes. Heather says, yes, I lived in New Orleans. It's just a specific mixture. Exactly. New Orleans, to me, is the most unique city in the United States. It is so different from any other city you go to in the U.S. It is so different, Yeah. All right. Anyway. Okay. So we get a little break. I'm just like yapping my mouth off. So let's take a little 5-minute break. I need to run to the restroom, but that's really it. I should be back relatively quickly, unless, I don't know, something happens. I don't know. All right. So if you need something to eat, something to drink, use the facilities, do the things. Also, get up out of your chair if you've been sitting this whole time. Move your body around so when you get old like me, you're not as creaky. And then also, final reminder, if you haven't as yet taken your meds, and you should have taken your meds by now, take your damn meds, because we love you and we want you to be around for a while. So take those meds. And I will be right back. Y'all be right back. We'll meet back here in a couple minutes. We'll chatter some more, and then we'll get back to work for the last 45 minutes. All right, be right back, y'all. All right, I am back. I am back. Let's see what's going on in the chat. Kayla says Ontario is very interesting, very diverse these days, especially in the bigger cities. I grew up in a very white area, me too, but it's a lot more diverse now. It's nice to see, yes. And the really interesting thing is that, you know, I live in Atlanta, and Atlanta is one of the best cities for black people, black Americans, in the entire country. It is very much a black-centered city, the metro area. Of course, we've got the suburbs and stuff, and they're predominantly white. And I grew up in white America. And one of the things I've been actively trying to do the last several years is to kind of deconstruct that and learn about history that I was never taught. So, oh, Alicia says exciting news. What's the exciting news, Alicia? Exciting news. Now I'm waiting. Now I'm just like, come on, type faster. Type faster. So, but yeah, I also grew up in predominantly white neighborhoods. And the things that I'm learning about American history that I didn't know is sort of staggering. And I'm a history major. I mean, granted, my particular interest in history is pre-modern. Like, it is, not now. So, Jay says, oops, hang on. Timer. Jay says, hitting a writer's block, so decided to focus on the footwear for one of my costumes I'm debuting for Dragon Con. What is it? I mean, if you want to share, Jay. If you don't want to share, it's okay. I am happy to wait till I see it. Alicia says, the tile's being delivered tomorrow. Yes! I can't type while you're making me laugh. Sorry. Not sorry at all. So for those who don't know, Alicia's poor library was flooded last week. Was it last week? Week before last? I think it was early last week. And so she lost a few books, but not a lot. So that's good. But she's having to redo her entire library. So they're putting down tile and they can't schedule people to come to come put the stuff in until they actually have the stuff. So yay! Jay says that their costume is a carnivalized Iron Man. Okay, I'm with it. I'm with you. You had better come show me that at Dragon Con because I'm gonna want to see it. Heather says, I lived in suburban Atlanta for a few years, decades ago. Yeah, I've been in and out of Atlanta. This is the third time I'm living here. I always end up coming back. So, yes. Oh, yeah, Alicia says it was Mother's Day weekend. So, yeah, so it was the weekend. It was like 2 weekends ago. Kayla says, Canadian history is fascinating, but so dark. Ours too. Especially when it comes to the Native experience. It was glossed over in school. Same here. I mean, you guys had your Native schools where they tortured and abused and killed children, and we have that also. You're not the only one, and you know what it is? It's colonization. It's Western Europe colonization. It's awful. They were really, really bad people. Really bad. So, yeah. And it's in everything. It permeates everything in our society here in the US, especially. It's awful. Manifest Destiny did the same in Hawaii. Yeah, exactly. It's all colonialization. That's all of it. All of it. Imperialism, colonialization. It's awful. Awful. So, yeah, some of the things that I've been learning, I have to take it slow though, because it's hard, right? Because you have this understanding of, your history and all that, and then you come to find out that not only were you only told a little sliver of it, but that little sliver was embellished in the best possible ways to make it look better. And it's hard. It feels a bit like a betrayal. It feels like, you have to, you're out there floundering, I don't know anything, and it's hard. It's really hard. And it's hard. So, it's definitely an ongoing process to try to kind of decolonize my mind and learn better, but I think it's one of the most worthwhile things because we can't have a better society until we can face the injustices and indignities of our past. Did I do those things? No. But do I benefit from my ancestors or other people who did that? Absolutely. Which makes it partly my responsibility to dismantle it. So yeah, it's not easy. It's definitely hard, but it should be, because it's way easier than the people who were the targets of that oppression. Right. So, Let's see. Kayla says it's definitely something to come to terms with. My ancestors did some messed up things. Same. And you know, when I was younger, so my dad came over in 1955. So obviously, on his side, and my mom's side of the family comes from uh, farmers in northern Michigan. So it's not like there's, as far as I know, any like slave owners or whatever in my family tree that I know of. Um, but that doesn't change the fact that as a white woman, I still benefit from those oppressive systems. All of my ancestors benefited. You know, my dad, as an immigrant, you know, he came to the country. He didn't speak English. He was a child, and so he got bullied and all these things. And so, in some ways, there is and Italians, when Italians first came to this country, they were not treated well, and the Irish as well before them. But like, they weren't considered white when they first came over. Now they are. But it's so hard to come to terms with that and to try to figure out how how do I make it better. So for me, my initial steps for trying to make it a better world is trying to dismantle the things that I thought I knew and the assumptions made on those things that I thought I knew. And, you know, I'm really coming to terms with so much, like thinking about dressing appropriately for business. That is absolutely like, it's part of the patriarchy, it's part of white supremacy, it's a part of making everybody stay in line, like, you know, be in the little box that society puts us in. You know, like, it's everywhere. It permeates everything. So, all right, anyway, sorry, big heavy things on my mind lately. Jay says, my time traveling cult has members of ethnicities affected by Christianization and colonization. Yes. Heather agrees with Kayla. Jay says, it's been an interesting study. I remember learning about the origins of Irish need not apply. Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, it was the same, you know, it was the same with Italians. And it's really the xenophobia that's built into U.S. society. I don't want to say American society, since America, you know, comprises entirely half of the globe, but definitely U.S. Definitely in the U.S. for sure. So, all right. Kayla says my stepdad's parents are from Germany. They escaped. I'm sure they had a hard time with that. My stepdad was bullied relentlessly because he was German after World War II. Yes, just like being Japanese, right? And you know, my stepdad, so I have two stepdads, or had, one has passed away, but my first stepdad, who is the father of my brother and sister, his parents came from Poland. They were literally in concentration camps, right? So that kind of affected everything about the way they interact with the world, you know? Yeah, it's Jay says one very good movie that explores this is Gangs of New York City. Yeah, I've heard that. I haven't watched it, but I've heard what you just said. So yes. All right, enough chitty chat. It's already 2:30. So let's do one more sprint, but we'll make it a longer sprint. Does that sound okay to y'all? Maybe 30 minutes instead of 20. Does that sound cool? So, what am I going to do this round? I need to look up and see I need to work on the progress report for Dragon Con, because that's due tomorrow. So I need to get that done today, since I'm going to be out most of the day tomorrow. All right. Are we ready, y'all? We're going to have a long sprint, and then we'll say our goodbyes. All right. We ready? 30 minutes. Here we go. that's it. That's the end of the sprints. How did everybody do? There's lots of chatter in the chat over that one. Let me scroll back. Molly has returned and she got a DocuSign email, probably regarding disability, but can't open it. Did you figure it out? Molly, did you figure it out? Alicia's doing the budget stuff before getting the kiddos. Wait a minute, did I miss something? No, I didn't. Okay. Sleepless has emerged over on YouTube. Sleepless says, "Hello, humans of Earth. I am Zong of Planet Cambridge. Welcome in, Zong." All right, Alicia says, "Thank you for sprints. Time to get the kiddos. Budgeting mostly done. More exciting news. Pay things off and maybe debt-free now. We'll double check. Yay!" I mean, she's not here, but yay! And Daniela has returned. She just got home and is having a snack. What kind of snack? Because we're talking about food today, and you know, I'm already hungry, so may as well. And I misspelled your name. I didn't put an A on the end. I'm sorry, Daniela. That was completely a typo. Jay got a couple more words. That's what we strive for. A couple more words here and a couple more words there. Molly left a message at the lawyer's office, so hopefully they'll call back. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed, my friend. Hattie says, "No more words for me. My ADHD superpower of hyperfocus has eluded me today. Damn it. Damn it. I'm sorry. But you can make another go of it tomorrow. Figure out what else you need to get done today and work on that instead." So, Daniela had a toast with hummus, mozzarella, and cheese. Mozzarella is cheese. Did you have another cheese in addition to mozzarella? But goodness, that sounds yummy. Although I'm not a huge hummus fan anymore, so let me tell y'all, I used to have these huge pool parties back in the day. Like 7,500 people. They were big parties. And you know, it was very much a, bring your own meat. Oh.
Halfy the Hound _ just followed. Yay.
Welcome in, Haffy the Hound. Glad you could join us over on Twitch. Back in the day, I used to have these huge parties, right? And it was bring your own meat or whatever for the grill, and then everybody would bring a side or snack or something to share, like a potluck, right? One year, we had so much hummus. Every fucking body brought hummus. Afterwards, I had like 7 or 8 packs of hummus, like little things of hummus. I do not eat hummus that much anymore. We ate a lot of hummus that month. So much hummus. So yeah, so it's not really my favorite anymore, but I mean, I'll still eat it, but I usually won't eat a lot of it. Daniela says, yes, a slice of Gouda cheese. Gouda is Gouda. Yes, I love cheese and cheese. I have a cheese and cheese sandwich. Actually, I think I'm going to go down and... No, I should wait. Because I have to eat dinner a little early today because I have a Zoom call at 7. So I usually try to, start eating dinner about 5:30. That way it gives my stomach time to settle and stuff. So... Otherwise, you remember how I told y'all yesterday that my husband got these tiny little, round, not tiny, but this size round pita, and it's perfect for a piece of Munster cheese. Well, I ate all the Munster cheese yesterday. I finished the Munster cheese. But we do have Gouda. Although it's not my favorite Dutch cheese. My favorite Dutch cheese is Edam. I love Edam, but it's not as easy to find here as the Gouda is. So, we do have Gouda cheese, and then we've got, a Mexican shredded cheese. The Gouda is sliced. And, when you do stuff in the air fryer, you gotta be real careful when you've got shredded cheese, especially the thin shredded cheese. You gotta be careful, because it'll throw that shit around. So, alright. Haffy the Hound wrote 2 chapters today. Excellent, new friend, you get a cheer. Good job. Good job. Well, this is the tail end of the sprint. So, I mean, the tail end of the stream. We're pretty much done for today, but we'll be back next week on Wednesday and Thursday as well. Speaking of next week, let me go over the events of TWT in the for the coming week. I'm also going to put in, if you are not part of TWT, we are on both Facebook and Discord. Why are you not working? Oh, yeah, no, there it is. Okay. And I'm sorry that it's coming through twice, but, you know, I still haven't cared enough to figure that out. Okay, so the events of the coming week as I know them. And things are a little bit different this week because there's some folks taking some time off. For example, we're not going to have any sprints this evening because Amelia, we're both recovering from the con last week. And so she's also dealing with some medical stuff, so she's taken this week off. So no sprints tonight, no Zoom tomorrow with me, but tomorrow evening at 8 o'clock, and these are all Eastern time. Tomorrow evening at 8 o'clock, we have Friday Night Rights with Rachel Brune. She goes from 8 until about 10. Then on Saturday morning, 10 a.m., we have Discord Sprints with Dalen, 10 a.m. till noon. Sunday, we do not have our usual 10 a.m. because Lisa and Dalen are both otherwise occupied, so they cannot host. But Sunday evening, we do have our usual Zoom chat at 7 p.m. The event is up in the group, so if you'd like to go vote on the topic or topics of your choice that you would like us to discuss this Sunday evening, please go into the Facebook group and do that. That chat goes from 7 until about 8:30, and even if you don't think you can make it, when it's not where we're giving people feedback on their work or whatever, when it's just a discussion, I record them and I upload them to YouTube as private videos and then put the link in the Facebook group. So you have access to all of those, and we've got those videos going back to like 2020. So there's lots of them. They're not organized in any way except for chronologically, so you've kind of got to look for shit that you want, but it's there. That's, you know, someday I'll actually do some sort of organization of it, but today's not that day. All right. On Monday at 2 p.m., we have Sprints and Meditation with Mr. Joe Compton. He goes from 2 until 4. Then at 7 p.m., I will be on the Go Indie Now network with my friend Sean Hillman on his show Zero Exposition. And the link, I'm not going to give you the link, but the link will be there this weekend. So search for Go Indie Now, and that's Indie with an IE, and you subscribe to the channel and you'll get notified. Okay, Tuesday, 7 p.m., Amelia will be back, and she will be doing her evening sprints, 7 p.m. till 9 p.m. On Wednesday, I'll be back here on Twitch and YouTube at noon, which is my usual. We will go till 3 or later if I feel, you know, ambitious. Which brings us around to next Thursday, where we'll be doing this all again. So let's see what other folks have said in the chat. Let's see. Haffy the Hound says, I'm on draft 2. Next chapter I'm working on is 20. That's awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Molly says, thanks for sprints. You're welcome, Molly. Thank you for joining us. Good luck on the DocuSign thing. Heather says, I needed a break. I've been working a lot today, but I need to do some promo work for my podcast tonight. I'll be doing that in a second here. Feel free to drop that into the Discord and or the Facebook group. You're absolutely welcome to do that. There's a channel in the Discord for, I think, shameless self-promo or something like that. You can drop it there. Valerie says, thanks for the stream. Valerie, thank you for being here from the beginning. So happy. All right, y'all. I'm not going to be raiding again. I still don't have the brain power for that kind of thing right now. But we will see you next week for sure. I hope everybody has a great rest of your day or night or whatever it is for you. And I'll see y'all next week. Bye.